Hi, my name's Katie Power and I'm from Rochdale Educational Psychology Service. Myself and my colleague Helen have been doing a series of play videos about play and resilience. The last 4 videos have focused on play, and this week is part 5, and we're going to focus on what is resilience this week. Just a reminder, Rochdale Borough Council are working with other organisations to help keep residents safe. If you need information about services and support, the web address is there on the screen. We're going to start with a quote again about what is resilience. Well, resilience is the ability to withstand or recover from environmental challenges and stress, to spring back from and successfully adapt to adversity. So other ways to define resilience include things like inner strength, capacity to cope, having an ability to bounce back from trauma, which is obviously very important for children in care, being adaptable. So play is a really good way to develop resilience, and we're going to talk about that as we go through this week's and the remaining week's videos. Because when faced with an uncertainty, playing allows children to practice and develop new behaviours without there being excessive risk. So the development of resiliency is really important, and it's something that we can very much help with. This is because resilience isn't fixed, so it's not something that we should see as a character trait. It's something that's a process, and we can support children to develop, which is really important. Resiliency can be thought as the outcome of interactions between a child or young person and their environment, and children will respond differently to situations based on their own individual risk and protective factors. So we can kind of see it as a seesaw, or a weighing scale, where protective experiences and coping skills are on one side, and then on the other side is significant adversity. So children that have got more protective experiences are able to withstand more adversity and maintain better outcomes, more positive outcomes. So it's really important that we think about how we can support children to develop these skills. So resilient children are considered to be hopeful, have high self-esteem, to feel special, to see things like obstacles as challenges and stresses as things to overcome. And they tend to focus on controllable factors. So children with these kinds of qualities are more likely to be successful, and they seem to have a real belief that they can have an effect on their world, and that they actually play a key role in their own achievements. And our interaction with children can help them to develop these qualities. Developing positive relationships with an adult really support children to develop their skills, and adults modelling appropriate responses to situations help children understand that it's okay to make mistakes and that that's all part of learning. The researchers identified that resilient children have positive attitudes, are optimistic, are able to regulate their emotions, are able to use failure as feedback, and can show some good problem solving abilities. So what about less resilient children? Well, there seems to be some significant differences between the way in which resilient children and less resilient children view mistakes. So as we said, resilient children tend to view mistakes as opportunities for learning. Children that are less resilient tend to view mistakes as an indication that they are failures. And we need to be really sensitive to this, particularly for children that are in care. So what happens when children view mistakes as a fail, as kind of saying that they are failures, means that they then retreat from challenges. That kind of then confounds and compounds the view that they are people that can't overcome obstacles, because if they don't give themselves opportunities to attempt challenges, then they don't experience success and they don't see themselves as someone that can overcome that. And that can lead to children feeling really inadequate. Another difference is that children can then blame others for their mistakes, whereas children that are a bit more resilient and think that they kind of have more control over the way that things happen and feel that they're a bit more responsible for things, are able to kind of take some responsibility for mistakes rather than blaming others. Less resilient children seem to have a low sense of self-efficacy, so that means they don't have very much belief in their ability to succeed. Research on resilience has shown that resilience is highly correlated with academic achievement and with educational success. There are protective factors that can buffer risk for children, including caring relationships, positive and high expectations, and opportunities to participate and contribute. Studies have shown that children from high-risk backgrounds that form attachment with a confiding adult outside of the immediate family are more resilient to the effects of family adversity. So protective factors and relationships are really key to helping protect children from adversity, but also to increase their ability to be resilient to it. And the single most common factor for children who develop resiliency is at least one stable and committed relationship with a supportive parent, caregiver, or other adult. So hopefully you can see that you've got a really key role to play in supporting children to develop these skills, and that actually you can make a real difference and will be making a real difference to the children that you care for. What can we do to promote resiliency? Well, as we said, it should be seen as a process and not a character trait. So children and adults can be supported to develop their resilience at any point in their lives. And this can be through either a set of cumulative events, or it can be one particular positive event that can really be pivotal in having a bit of a positive knock-on effect for children or young people or adults. So what we need to do is provide children with managed exposure to risk, because this creates opportunities for them to actually build those coping mechanisms that we talked about. If they don't have those exposures to risk, then they don't get the opportunity to learn to develop those skills. So we need to provide them with managed exposure to risk. We need to give them opportunities to be involved in activities that enable them to develop a sense of success. So we know that everybody needs to feel that they're successful at something, and we need to find those things for children. We need to give them opportunities to succeed and feel good about themselves. Positive school experiences and extracurricular activities are important. And we also need to develop children's capacity to be able to reframe adversities or reframe when things go wrong. What would we like you to try this week? Well, we would like you to just have a think about how resilient you feel the children that you're caring for are, and think about whether building resilience is something that you could really support them with. The important things are to do things like be really open and honest about mistakes that you make, and that's one of the most helpful things you can do for children, is be a role model in showing that mistakes are part of learning, they're part of life, and the way in which we react to them, if we react to them as something to kind of be feared, then if we overreact, it doesn't help children to develop a healthy outlook about mistakes, and that's something that we really want to develop for children because it's really important for them. So we would like you to continue to join children in their play, carry on providing a rich play environment as we talked about in week 3, continue using any play ideas from the previous weeks that you found helpful. But we really want you to focus on being a role model for children you're caring for. As we said, show them it's okay to make mistakes, and then reframe for children when things go wrong in all areas of their life. So highlight to them things that they are struggling with are just things that they can't do yet, and talk about things as skills that they need to learn rather than things that they can't do or things they're not very good at. They're skills that we can learn, and resilience is one of those areas of skills that we can help children to develop with, and you are going to be really key in doing that for the children that you care for. As always, if you've got any queries or questions about this week's topic, please contact us. Our email address is there on screen, or if you have any feedback from this week or previous weeks. Again, we're hoping to upload videos weekly, so please check back next week for part 6, where we will be talking more specifically about specific areas you can support children to develop resiliency with. And lastly, as usual, there's a safeguarding reminder there with the contacts that you need if you do have any concerns. Thanks very much for watching. We hope you enjoy playing again this week, and also helping children to build their resilience through play, because we know that play is so important for developing children's resilience, and all of the skills that we want children to develop in terms of resilience are things that can be done through play. So happy playing, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.